You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 59 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and we're looking on the brighter side of things today because after the game, I don't know about you. Look, I see your reaction. After the game, I don't know about you, but for myself, even though they did lose in a very pissing off fashion, I was optimistic as to what the Eagles have going forward for the rest of the season on their roster right now in Travis Fulgham and certain players. But let's talk about.
Can we be more specific on this? Are we more optimistic as the team, more optimistic on offense, or more optimistic on defense?
I'm more optimistic on offense.
Okay,
I am
thank you.
pissed off about the defense.
Okay.
And sorry, it's causing my microphone to pop right now. That's how pissed off I am.
Let's narrow that down because there's really no way for us to be so confident on defense right now.
Absolutely not. Definitely not. Gary is the focal point right now, but he's not the only terrible player on the defense. I mean, Jalen Mills was terrible in coverage, completely terrible. And which you called last week, you said take his performance last week with a grain of salt, and look what happened. Cravon LeBlanc was a bit horrendous in tackling. I mean, he had the players in the backfield, but he missed the tackles 3 or 4 times. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't like this team can't find any balance in the force right now. And that's a big issue going forward against the Baltimore Ravens this Sunday.
Yeah, there is no balance right now. It's like it's Doug in his presser today saying he was a different Doug than we've seen the last few weeks. He's coming on a pretty good performance from his guys. I know he's a head coach, so everybody's his guys.
His team did good. Jim's team didn't.
Yeah, his team did good.
Let's clarify that.
But so he said, the offense has got to pick up a struggling defense, and a struggling offense needs to be picked up by a defense has to pick up a struggling offense. Mm-hmm. And then Jim just pretty much threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
But it's like it's going in different directions right now. The defense, for the most part, started off really well this season,
mm-hmm.
and then it's gotten progressively worse. The offense has gotten really bad starts and has gotten progressively better. I mean, you scored 29 points on one of the best defenses.
They're the third team to do that in 20 years at Heinz Field. The third team to do that in 20 years.
And you do that, obviously, that doesn't happen without the greatest receiver of all time, Travis Fulgham. Thank God we are blessed with his presence.
He's pretty damn good, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like 10 receptions for 152 yards, real quick, it's not a fluke.
But it might be a fluke.
No, it's not a fluke. Don't do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But it's it might be a fluke. We might not see that again.
We won't see that again. But the kid's skill set and ability is there. It's no BS. This is not like Aguilar.
No,
this is not
he definitely has the want. He definitely has the he's a taller and faster Greg Ward.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it.
Because Greg Ward saw that really no one wanted him. He saw how many times he was cut and all that. So he's out there performing like it is his last time performing. Travis Fulgham in 2 games has been like, you know what? I don't want to get cut again. That's it.
But it fits him. I was reading about it. The kid was one of the most dominating receivers in his senior year in college. And that, that speaks volumes in the draft that the Eagles took J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in the 2nd round. Just saying. Let's go back to the defense. Let's talk about the defense.
Hold on a minute.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Receivers.
What did I just count?
You counted the receivers that were drafted before Fulgham?
No.
Oh.
I since 2016, so within the Doug Peterson era of the
Okay.
Eagles, 26 different players have had a 10-reception, 150-yard game.
Not only in the Eagles, you're talking about in the
in the whole league. In the whole
Okay.
league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I'm not going to count him. 6, 7, 8, 9 of them have only done it once.
Two of them
So
are Eagles?
no, 10 if you count Fulgham.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm not including him because what happens if he does it again? Then so as of right now, 10 people, including Fulgham, 10 receptions, 150 yards. So 16 others have done it multiple times. So but I think 2 of them are running backs, Tariq Cohen and Todd Gurley. But it's not that common. But
it can't be. It's very rarely a fluke. Let's put it like that.
Hey, you know what? As Kevin on The Office said, the funny thing about flukes is that they're the most common fish in the ocean. So if you cast your line out, you're often going to get a fluke, something like that. So, hey.
You had me before something like that. But so let's talk about real flukes. Let's talk about Nate Gary playing linebacker in the NFL. That's a fluke. The guy's a starting linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. That is a fluke.
Is it a fluke, or does he have something going on with?
He has to be sleeping with somebody behind the scenes,
I'm
bro.
convinced that he is married to or dating Jim Schwartz's niece or daughter, or Howie's niece or daughter, or something like that. Because there's no way. Like I haven't seen a player this universally. I don't want to say hated.
He's not hated. It's just that people don't understand him.
That have the same opinion of him as a football player. Between fans, between video guys, between reporters, between everybody.
Even executives. Let's put that out there.
Like other teams. If you've watched this the last few weeks especially the last 2 weeks, with people from other teams coming on to talk, and they're like, you know what, the weak link is really number 47. Like, they know who they're pinning on. Like, he is the laughingstock at his position in the NFL. He might be the laughingstock at any position in the NFL, and that's including Nathan Peterman at quarterback.
Can we put that out there that he completely ignored Nickell Robey-Coleman on that play?
Nickell Robey-Coleman was like this.
He was like
he's like and Jerry, and number 47 was like, huh, what?
He didn't even look at him. He's just like,
and Claypool's running at him, and he's like, what do I do? And he's like, oh man.
But he had that kind of moment very consistently throughout the game. I rewatched the game today, and looking at him, he's like, every time the ball went this way, Gary was going the opposite way. Like, he was literally running away from the play.
How many times do we have to watch the game and we see the back of his jersey after
it's
a catch?
terrible.
Like, it's like
he's like a walking advertisement for failure.
I really hope that I hope I get this opportunity, and on the other hand, I hope I don't, because I hope he leaves the team before then. But if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I started a thread of bad things happen in Philadelphia. It's just pictures of number 47 getting destroyed on a play. It's going to be added on Sunday, most likely, with something from it's probably going to be him diving at Lamar Jackson.
What if it's Lamar Jackson hurdling him? That would be priceless.
If I'm going to make that my cover photo, if that is. But it's like But I hope that I don't have one every week, because I hope he's off the team or benched.
He's not going away. He's as untouchable as Jim Schwartz is at this point for some weird reason. They have blackmail on Howie.
Like I did so much research on where number 47's from, where's Ken Flaholi from, where's Jim Schwartz, seeing if there's a connection there. And
did you use Ancestry.com yet?
I can't. No, I'm not. That's next. That's next. But it's just mind-boggling how these young kids, even a project that you can't, we saw the project of Jordan Mailata come to fruition this year.
And it's looked pretty good.
But how many times are we going to draft someone to have a project for 3 years and then play them later? Like, oh, wow, look, he's really good 3 years later. But it's like, Is there going to be one of those every draft?
But how much of a project really is Davion Taylor? Like, is he really that raw of a player?
I mean, he played a couple years at Colorado, but it's like I know it was kind of new for him because, it's he never knew about football before Colorado, I guess. But he only played in 23 games in Colorado, with 19 starts. But in those 23 games, he had 136 tackles, 20 for a loss, 2 sacks, 23 third down stops. Senior year, 11 games, 61 tackles. He was pretty good for Colorado.
But my question is, like, if you have, like, all right, we spoke about this last week where I asked you your point of view as a coach. If you have a player that's this poor in performing at his position, why would you not give the next player up an opportunity? Like, sure, Alex Singleton is getting on the field more, and Shorts might be just waiting for Parks to get back, which is completely understandable. But looking at the stat, like, Nathan Gary has allowed 16 completions out of 17 targets. That's a completion percentage of 94 for 157 yards. Like, how do you not look at that and say, okay, you know what? Let me try out Bradley got snaps, thank God. Let me try out Taylor. Let me see if he can do anything before Parks gets back. Like, I want to know what I have before my big guns come back.
The thing is, like, Bradley got snaps. Bradley got 4 snaps on defense, and he finished with 3 tackles.
He made a goal line stop.
Yeah, a really good goal line stop.
He puffed his chest.
Number 47 had, I think, like 74 snaps and finished with 4 solo tackles. So 1 tackle more. I think one of Bradley's tackles was on special teams. But, all right, so 2 more tackles on defense in almost 70 more snaps than Bradley. Taylor is only a special teams guy right now. He's played in all 5 games, but only on special teams. How much, like, you got to look, like, if you're Jim or maybe
what's
Howie,
the boiling point?
or maybe Howie, if everybody's following me on Twitter with what I reported.
Well, that's where I want to get to next.
Like,
so finish your statement.
If Howie's the one looking at these stats and deciding who's going to play, how can you see that number 47 is giving up 154? Pro Football Reference and PFF have a little bit different. Pro Football Reference has number 47 at allowing 16 completions on 17 attempts for like 150-something yards and 144 rating.
Mm-hmm. Right.
PFF has him at, I think, like 16 for 16 or something like that, 17 for 17 for like 200 yards and just like a shade shy of a perfect passer rating.
Either way,
no matter the stat, no matter what you're looking at, that's bad. So how can you look at that and be like, you know what, this guy might not be much worse. You really can't be much worse than this. Maybe they're waiting so long for Will Parks to come back, but you're
costing games.
Yeah, so
you're losing games because of this.
Like, why not try to improve now and then try to fit Will Parks into an improving defense, then hoping that Will Parks is the savior of the defense? Because as good as Will Parks is, and he's very good, probably not the savior of the defense.
But he's going to make a big difference. And now to segue into this, I need you to – we do have news that Chris did filter out. A lot of stooges felt, I guess, annoyed by it for some weird reason. They felt a little tough about it, just to put that out there.
He probably thought I was goofy on it.
Yeah, he thought he was goofy, my G. But just to put this out there, you do have a very reliable source that you've had for the past 2 seasons. Obviously, we've been together for 2 years now. Well, a year, but 2 seasons in football year.
Too long.
Tell everybody what you've been told and the context of it, so people fully understand what exactly is going on with what you said.
Right. So, Jeff McClain, and we know Jeff McClain has his stuff. He's like one of the most like vilified reporters out there when it comes to the Eagles because of
he always drops the sauce at the wrong time.
Yeah, he's like the match, and he's like, I'm gonna light it right now.
Jeff McClain plays chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
So I've being what we've been doing for the last couple of years. You meet people. You meet people, reporters, you meet, and sometimes you meet people that are close to organizations such as the Eagles. And we've been fortunate enough to get close to a source who's been close to the Eagles for many years and close to Howie Roseman. So today I texted my source and I said, listen, I saw this report. Just wanted to get your input on it and see how true this is. And he said that's true. I said the reporter is saying that Howie has saying who's active on game day. Is this true? And he said yes with an exclamation point.
He seemed pretty emphatic about it too. Like
he said that most coaches didn't find out until who was active until Saturday night, and then we played on Sunday. He also expected the coaches to play those guys having no practice time. Like the coaches would tell him that they need to know by earlier in the week, and Howie would tell them that he would let them know on Wednesday who he's thinking of being active on Sunday. But Howie would say that and then not give coaches anything until, hey, these are the inactives, and this is who I want active. So it's like, why is Howie doing this? Like, so like I get like, and people are after
it's not an uncommon thing for you to put
and
up.
it's not an uncommon thing. Like GMs do dip their noses in things, but it's like when GMs do this though, usually I would think, and I'm gonna get more on this tomorrow. I'm gonna write a little article on it. I would think that GMs do this in conjunction with coaches. Like, hey, what are the matchups this week? This and that. Who do you think will? Common sense stuff. But like what I was told was, how was like, Saturday, here's who I want, and then you're trying to plug in guys that if you would have known earlier in the week, you would have practiced them in those situations. You only have so much time in practice to be like, okay, now you go try the situation. Now you go try the situation. Trying to fit in all these pieces when you only have so much game time and walkthrough and all that stuff. So I asked for a little bit more, clarity, and he said that Howie valued his draft picks over good talent,
over the free agents,
like for the most part, Howie wanted who he drafted or who he traded for to play over free agent signings. And we kind of saw that with LJ Ford, but LJ Ford was more of a comp pick move. Howie wanted the comp pick back, so he cut him.
Now he's one of the.
Now we're going to see him on Sunday in a different uniform. So when LJ Ford brings Carson Wentz for a pick six, it's going to explode.
Don't you dare wish that on my quarterback, okay?
I don't wish it happens. I don't hope it happens, but watch it happen, and Twitter's going to explode, and it's going to, But it's like, Jim does have a say on who comes in, maybe free agents wise, but then those free agents don't play, and so
and he used that as an excuse this week.
Hargrave is playing more and more and more. I mean, I'm sure his injury had played.
But that seems like a Howie move more than anything.
And Howie was like that was like a splash move. Like this same source before the Hargrave signing told me Howie's more of a splash guy. Like Howie, like
he likes the big names,
free, like a big name. So did the Eagles need Hargrave? No. Like defensive tackle position was probably the deepest part of this team. Because you have Fletch, you had Malik Jackson, who was coming back healthy. Hassan Ridgeway was very good. Rush even was very good last year. But like to get a three-headed monster, so to speak, on the defensive line,
it wasn't necessary.
That wasn't like, it's great, it's awesome, it's great that he's doing great. We love him, but was it necessary to further add to the chunk of the salary cap that is the defensive tackle position? And then you look at, Slay obviously is working out great.
Slay's phenomenal. He's out there alone on an island and nobody's bothering him.
So but then like then you look at the draft and you see that speed. How he preached speed. And he got it.
Guys.
And he got it. But now they're not playing.
A speedy quarterback at the second round.
Now they're really not playing. You get speed in Davion Taylor, he's not playing. You got speed in Sean Bradley, he's not playing. You got speed and production out of Kayvon Wallace. He finally played against the 49ers, but then
he played a bit against
the Steelers.
But there's a disconnect. There's a huge
disconnect right now. Clearly, like every week that we see this team play, there's clearly a disconnect between front office and coaching staff. And it's like, if it just seems to me that the coaches might, like during the draft time, might want, and I was told this too, a player that better fits, and Howie says, nope, we're going to get this guy.
And that brings me back because if you saw the Miles Sanders video when they drafted him, Howie pretended he drafted somebody else, and Deuce kind of reacted in a way was like, oh God, like, again, like, really, you did this? And they're like, no, we got Miles, and then they all celebrated, and hooray and all this extra stuff. So there's evidence around what the Eagles put out that you see this from the coaches, from these little snips. Like, there's evidence that Howie has his hand too much in the pot, and it's proven. I mean, we said in the beginning of the season that Doug didn't look like himself. He looked frustrated. He did say that Mike Groh would be back and Carson Walsh.
I mean, that's like when we talk about these things and people doubt what we're saying, you have to just go straight back to that press conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I mean, you would think even stooges can understand.
Yeah, it's like Howie, right? I mean, not Howie. Doug right there said that Groh and Walsh will be back, and then
the next day
later they're gone. It's just like, it's just crazy how disconnected this team has been since that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like winning cures everything. But right now, they're not winning. And in a really bad division, like if you can't win in a division the way it is now, and especially
with no Dak Prescott,
especially when the Cowboys just lost to Rector, and we hope that he has a recovery.
We're not those kind of Eagles fans. We actually do hope.
We hope that he has success elsewhere next year.
I just hope he gets his money because that kid deserves his money. I don't care what nobody says.
We really hope that no one deserves an injury like that, no matter how you feel about the guy. But we hope he goes to the Colts next year.
I'm actually predicting he'll end up with the Giants.
With the Clapper?
With the Clapper. The Clapper loves him, man.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Like,
I don't doubt it, bro.
I wouldn't hate the Giants so much because I would kind of want the Giants to succeed just to see Jason Garrett and Dak Prescott succeed.
Wouldn't that be phenomenal?
For Dallas. And Dallas fans just blow everything up.
Yeah, that would be like mind-blowing to see that.
Now I'm rooting for that. But I think if he doesn't go back to Cowboys, I think that the Colts make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Bears too. If Foles is
looking good. They're 4-1 right now, and they just beat Brady.
They are like the most weak. We're like the weakest 4-1 team ever. But it's like
it's just working right now. There's little Foles magic going on.
Yeah, but speaking of magic, you know what's magic? The way my Lawnmower 3.0 works down there sometimes.
That is that is magic.
That is magic. The way it's nice and smooth on there makes everything seem like it's like nothing has been there ever. Like it'll bring you back to the pre-puberty stages of that's how clean it is.
To the Stone Age.
That's how clean it is. Like, have you ever slipped on a wax floor? You probably
laid on, yeah, most likely.
Like, that's how slippery and smooth it would be after Lawnmower 3.0. So go to manscaped.com. Do it, don't do it for us. Do it for Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport, let's free Ian Rappaport, who is now suspended until October 22nd because he had a Manscaped ad on NFL Network, and Roger Goodell said, no, don't talk about your balls on NFL Network. So now he's suspended until October 22nd. So do it for Ian Rappaport. Go to manscaped.com. Buy something with our code FTB. We don't get any money from this. We just love the product. So just FTB and do it for Ian Rappaport. Shave your balls for Ian Rappaport.
So that's code FTB to get 20% off at manscaped.com. And now to segue into our Know Your Enemy part of the podcast, we have Chief Editor of Baltimore Beatdown, Kyle Barber, joining us today. As it connects to the audio. Hey, Kyle, what's going on, man?
Oh, he's telling me.
Going.
There you go.
How you feeling today? There we go.
Doing well. Doing all right. I slipped a disc in my back lifting earlier today. So,
what kind of lift? Because I have 3 from deadlifting in college.
This is my first one I've ever done. It was doing squats.
It's not fun.
This is a new experience.
Yeah, it's not a fun experience. So I just get ready for knowing when it rains. Just for when you'll know when it rains or snows, because it's your back is going to be like that.
I always thought that was a myth. That's actually a legit thing.
Oh, when you start developing arthritis and it's rough.
Yeah, no,
wow.
And I've never pulled this before, and this is like I had my girlfriend like help me up the steps, and and helping me to like the room. This is my Jordan flu game, guys. Just gonna let you know. Powering
We
through.
appreciate it, man.
Or is it the
Here,
Paul Pierce wheelchair game? Are you coming out?
No, it is not the wheelchair game. It is not the wheelchair game. That's not even cool, man. Come on.
That was such a bad and very interesting story that he just had to use a bathroom.
Yeah.
Only in Boston.
It's creative.
Right?
It's creative. You know, we're all storytellers in our own right.
That was very creative, though. I mean, to pull that off in the NBA Finals, wild.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
But speaking of things that are wild, you guys do have the wildest run game in the NFL. Eagles Ravens this Sunday. Talk to us about how you feeling about your team going into this week and so far for the season.
You want me to start on offense or defense?
Whatever floats your boat, man.
All right. We can start on offense. Ravens running game has been not nearly as dominant as last season. The main absence being Marshall Yonda, Hall of Fame-esque right guard. He's no longer sitting there, and the Ravens are no longer capable of just simply calling run behind number 73 on to break, you know? So it's become a more difficult grind for the Ravens. But overall, the run game is still talented. You'd like to see some more out of Mark Ingram just because he looks to have hit a little bit of a 30-year wall where he just doesn't have that same explosiveness that we all know Mark Ingram to have. J.K. Dobbins hasn't necessarily been the player that we've expected, just simply because he's not being utilized as much.
I hated that pick for you guys just because I wanted him.
I actually drafted him in my fantasy league. And I cut him last week.
How do you let as a league however, whatever Roger Goodell wants to police, he wants to police Ian Rappaport not being able to shave his balls on TV. He wants to, do all this stuff, but he allows J.K. Dobbins to go to the Ravens.
Wait, time out. Nobody will allow Ian Rappaport to shave his balls on national TV.
You don't know if that's what he was trying to do or not.
Man, HBO would do some weird things, man.
Yeah. Taxi Cab Confessions with Ian Rappaport.
Bingo.
Hard Knocks.
That's real Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. NFL Films, baby. This is the 30 for 30.
What
if I told you one of the greatest insiders of all time shaved his testicles on live TV? The 30 for 30. Ian Rappaport. 2 peas, 2 balls, 1 razor.
All these balls breakdowns.
Football and balls.
Have them all go balls out.
Yeah. But right, defense. Marlon Humphrey, the most dominant cornerback in the NFL right now. Got 4 takeaways. 4 takeaways in 5 games. 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles. He's looking like the modern day Charles Tillman. He's got the peanut punch. He's punched out 3 footballs, all 3 of them from punch outs too. He just wraps up and you just see this missile of a right hook.
Can I mention my one complaint about Marlon Humphrey?
Go for it.
Why the hell is he wearing number 44?
Number 44.
What the hell?
That was his dad's old number. That's his dad's old number.
No, but it still fits in.
It's still wild. It's still completely wild.
It's just weird to see that.
Well, you blame Earl Thomas for taking 29 from him, and he had to switch to something else, and he picked 44 because that was Bobby Humphreys, a running back from he played for Miami.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's very
still
interesting
wild to see.
It kind of bothers me.
44 you expect linebacker. He plays like a linebacker, man. He is physical. He's been brilliant. Love week in and week out. He's the defensive MVP. I'd argue he is the defensive player of the year candidate right now. I'd say leading. You want a cornerback that has yet to allow a touchdown in 5 games and has forced 4 takeaways, and 2 of them were defensive touchdowns. 2 of them have been scooped up and scored. One by L.J. Fort, former Philadelphia Eagle.
Don't do it.
Okay? Grind that one in there real quick. And the other was Patrick Queen, first-round linebacker this year.
This guy mock drafted Patrick Queen to the Eagles so many times in the offseason.
Because I'm a glutton for punishment, even though I know for a fact they won't draft a linebacker no matter if they are the next coming of Ray Lewis, of Patrick Willis, or anybody, or even a combination of every single best linebacker in the world. Howie Roseman will look at him like, nah.
I'll pass. Hard pass.
Yeah, Ravens are dominant. Offense, you got to watch out for Mark Andrews. 5 touchdowns already receiving, and the Eagles linebacking group
you were itching to say that. You were itching to bring that in.
It's not looking so good. I mean, you don't have LJ Fort. You don't got Patrick Queen on there.
You've been hanging out with Michael Kiss too much.
Not yet. Nah, not yet.
Not yet. Potting with him too much. They're talking because this is all just like it's just like, what is number 47 doing out there? I refuse to call him by name now. Just because he's so bad. Like he doesn't even deserve to have a name right now.
He's very terrible. It blows my mind. Like, we were just talking about this. Like, Chris is a coach for basketball and track. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I was telling him, like, if you have somebody, what?
I'm your life coach too.
Sure, but that's offline, man. You don't mention it online. My thing is, if somebody's performing so poorly, why the hell are they still playing? Like, if I perform poorly in my job, I would not have a job.
The only way someone plays like that, in my experience as a coach, is if the parents are powerful. It's like just being as a teacher or coach, if the parents are like on the board or like they're very powerful and they know people on the board, their kid is playing. So like, it's like, that's what's happening. Like what's happening right now. You bench my kid, you're in trouble. Like, it's like,
I'm going to Ancestry.com.
I don't care what
I gotta figure this out.
23 of me, this man.
I gotta figure this out, man.
I did that. I found some cousins I didn't know I had. But it's it's like how, like, I don't care. Like what Pro Football Reference says, number 47 allowing 16 of 17 completions, and for 150 something yards, and 144 point something rating. And then PFF has him at like perfect. No one has missed a pass when targeting him, and for like 200 yards and 154 point something rating. So no matter which one you look at, it's like,
that's not good.
It's never good.
Put a traffic cone there or something that's better.
Well, Mark Andrews will feast if that's what the Eagles decide to do, but likely they will be watching a lot of the Bengals game film. And while Mark Andrews was successful in that Bengals game last week, the Bengals played a great game against him, and he's just a playmaker that can make the most of his targets. And that's what ended up happening. That's why he got a touchdown. That's why he moved the chains a few times. Is he was battling in double coverage, and Lamar's forcing some passes his way, and that's unfortunately just the way she goes sometimes,
Oh, the Eagles don't double cover. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in covering, honestly, except outside for their.
Believe in covering.
The only thing we cover is the Eagles.
Jim Schwartz said today on the Chase Claypool meltdown play that they kind of had to make up for deficiencies elsewhere. It's kind of say something about number 47 there, but it's like you watch the film and Nickel Roby Coleman's like hey, pay attention over here. They're gonna do this, and number 47
Gary's just like
that's cool.
And then he's like,
I see you.
And
that's
then
cool.
He sees Claypool running at him. I was like, hey, friend. And then it's just like, and then Claypool runs by him. And he's like, oh wait, it's. Like I just don't understand as a professional coach how you can just put that product out there week in and week out. Logan Thomas, a former quarterback, dominates him week 1. Tyler Higbee dominates him week 2.
George Kittle.
Week 3 was Tyler Boyd. I thought Drew Sample was going to have a day, but he didn't. But Tyler Boyd. Then you have George Kittle going 15 for 15. And then last week you have Claypool just destroy everyone he's facing. I mean, even he did it against Slay. But that's just start Mark Andrews in fantasy.
Start Mark Andrews.
Well, I don't know. I started Eric Ebron, and he didn't do nothing. I was expecting him to have a feast, but freaking Claypool stole the spotlight.
Just a cool 4 touchdowns, not a big deal. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
So talk to us about, you do have the reigning MVP, the most electric player in pro sports, actually. When Lamar Jackson, when he touches the ball, like, everything stops.
It's danger.
Yeah, it literally is. And you do have the speedster and Marquise Brown, who I did not start in fantasy this week, which is okay. It's fine. I still won that league. How do you feel Lamar Jackson will fare against this kind of defensive line? Because we do still have a top defensive line.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Eagles are, I believe, top 5 in sacks heading into week 6. This is something I'm a little bit nervous about, is because they have a strong front that is capable of getting to him. Now, his elusiveness is something to behold, and he's more than capable of never getting touched just because of his speed and his agility. He's dealing with a little bit of a knee injury. You could definitely tell something was up on Sunday. It was a little bit rainy, but overall he was not running. The Bengals didn't let him run, and he didn't look like he wanted to. So I think that was a conscious decision by the coaching staff that, hey, he's been dealing with a little bit of a knee injury. He had a stomach problem. And overall they just didn't want him running. But he's more than capable of throwing. You've seen it. Everybody's seen it. He struggled a little bit last week, but overall, he's a dangerous player with the football in his hands, and on offense, he's the ball that he's the man that gets snapped to every single snap. So he's going to be able to do some damage no matter what you want.
That is factual, and it's scary.
Just makes me want to drink more.
Let's go. What are you guys having today? What are you guys drinking and enjoying?
I'm having Voodoo, since it's October, fall shit. Voodoo Ranger, but this is their spicy atomic pumpkin. It's their pumpkin.
That's a good beer. Habanero. That's a great beer.
Fantastic. Because I was feeling spicy today, so
Brian, what you got? What you enjoying?
I'm enjoying Breakfast for Lunch by Brick City Brewing.
Alrighty. Well, I got to give it to Chris here because I'm living in Fort Collins, Colorado, the home of New Belgium Brewery.
There you go. There it is.
That's why I'm enjoying the Fat Tire today. I had to bring a little home cooking here.
Yeah, Fat Tire.
Nicely done, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, those of you who like New Belgium and other craft beer, make sure you go to our sponsor, Tavour, Tavour. Use FTB10 for $10 off your purchase of $25.
My word, gentlemen. You guys get on that. That's a good deal right there. That's a good deal.
Because, craft beer is expensive.
And you also
it can be. With codes like that.
We're also sponsored by Manscaped.
Sponsored by Manscaped.
Who isn't?
Why didn't you bring that up during the Ian Rappaport part? Are you kidding me?
We did. Before you came on.
Okay.
We were talking about balls and everything.
We've been talking about balls all podcast.
We said shave your balls for Ian Rappaport.
Okay.
When you're doing it, just make sure this is for Ian. So shout it out.
This is for you.
We haven't gotten to the part where
he roasted me on Twitter way back in the day.
Really?
I was 22 years old. I'm a kid from Wyoming, like small town Gillette, Wyoming. 22-year-old, got the managing editor position at Baltimore Beatdown, and my father lives in Wilmington, Delaware, so I moved out to the East Coast, lived there, and I earned credentials to the Baltimore Ravens training camp. And at 22 years old, I'm sitting in the same room as all of these big name ESPN writers. Wow. Jeff Zrebick, who's now with The Athletic, was with the Baltimore Sun. Sal Palantonio's in there. And about a week in, Ian Rappaport's in there. And I was like, that's the guy that I have tried to aspire to be, when an NFL insider gets the news. And I tweeted that, and I was like, man, can't believe I'm in the same room as Ian Rappaport. If you would have told me I'd have been here, I never would have believed you. Like something corny, a little bit cliche like that. But I was 22 years old. Who let me in the facility, for goodness sake? Like I'm just some 22-year-old kid from Wyoming. Like I can't believe they're like, that kid is fine for credentials. Wild. But hustle hard and sometimes you get some fortune. And he was like, okay, weirdo, or that's weird. He was just like, that's creepy, bro. That's creepy, bro. He hits me with that's creepy, bro. And forever, I'm just like, I don't. Wow. I'm so salty about it still.
But did he say anything to you in person?
He didn't say anything to me in person. I ran into him like 2 years later. I was like, hey, how's it going, man? He's like, oh, what's up? I was like, yeah, my name's Kyle. You probably don't remember me, but you roasted me on Twitter a couple years ago. The Ravens Twitter account favorited his tweet, by the way.
Oh,
wow. Just to rub it in a little bit more. And I know who runs their social media. And why you gotta do me like that? What'd I do? What'd I do to that?
You know what? Now we take back the whole support Ian thing. Let him roast on. Let him cook on suspension.
No, when I saw that, I was like, I'm not gonna say he deserves it, but I'm okay with this happening.
You should have just retweeted it and said karma.
Yeah.
How's your balls
That's creepy,
now,
bro?
How ballsy you feeling now?
There you go. See, Brett, you got a little funny in you today.
There you go.
Let's
Clean.
see what happens
It was
when you
clean.
drink.
It's
See what
clean.
happens when you drink, Ryan.
Listen, it's been a very long week. I've actually been limiting my drinking.
It's only Tuesday.
It's been long already, bro.
Jesus Christ.
You not notice
man.
that there's like 48 hours in a Monday?
Yeah,
Have you never felt like that?
every day?
All right, then. And
But
you
still, it's only Tuesday.
There's football on today. It feels like a Thursday. It's
Hey, no,
TNF.
we don't like to talk about Tuesday night football as Eagles fans
Oh,
because Joe Webb. It's. I was in Puerto Rico that day, and it was Christmas. It was Christmas break, and I made my parents get me back into the house we were staying at because I needed to watch the game. And instead of being outside in the nice, I was in watching the Eagles get dismantled by Joe Webb. Joe Webb.
I just want to point out this is the poetic allegory for Eagles fandom. I'm in Puerto Rico on Christmas break, and still the birds. You gotta watch the birds.
You can't miss the
my
game.
fair amount of time
Those
in
pina
Philly.
coladas can wait. The birds
I
can't.
was living in Delaware, just a short drive from the stadium. I've enjoyed a game or two at Lincoln Financial Field. You guys are all that nuts. It's wonderful. I love it. I respect it.
I mean,
Actually,
any player. I'm sure you've seen any player that comes available. We're like, all right, let's go. We're ready.
Eagles, trade him.
We're ready.
Yep.
It's like the Le'Veon Bell stuff today. It's like
Don't you start with that, okay?
Don't
Don't you start with that.
I'll have something out on it.
No Sanders slander, okay? Let's look.
I'm not slandering. Okay? I'm sorry.
No.
Would you rather have Boston Scott under DVOA right now? He's averaging negative 11 yards above replacement.
That sounds great.
Corey Clement is averaging negative 5 yards over replacement. Do you rather have those two backing up and I'm saying backing up Sanders rather than an established back who does the same things as Sanders and is a very good in pass protection? Did you see Corey Clement trying to protect Carson Wentz on Sunday?
He missed the tackle. He missed the protection.
He was bad.
Listen, I'll take Marshawn.
You want a
for free agency?
You want a 5'6" running back blocking a 250, 260-pound defensive end coming after Carson Wentz.
But you got to think about this.
You
If
just
the
gotta
Eagles are
cut block,
trading
man.
for Le'Veon Bell, what are you
magic.
giving up? They're not going to take Alshon Jeffrey. Nobody's taking Alshon Jeffrey. We don't even want Alshon Jeffrey, bro.
Hey, man, you know what?
Is that how far he's fallen?
It's literally how far he's fallen.
Yikes!
But you know what?
I haven't been able to catch a whole lot of the games.
We'll let the Ravens take out Sean as
I'm not taking Alshon. They need a
three-team trade here.
as repercussions. As for payback for taking T.O. from them. Remember, T.O. was ready to go to the Ravens.
Yeah, and then he just called up Ozzy and he said, "Speak with my agent."
Yeah,
Listen,
and
And
that
then
T.O. signing
in the
was
first
so-
preseason game, he just catches the preseason touchdown, one catch, one touchdown, and mocked him on the bench the rest of the day.
He goes
I've
from
read
Pro
this.
Bowl, hanging out with Ray Lewis. You know what I'm saying? He's going to the Ravens and all that, and then he goes to the Eagles.
The moment that the Eagles signed Terrell Owens, my heart was full. It hasn't been full since.
It hasn't been full. There was a Super Bowl championship. I guarantee you, it was full. How dare you?
It was half full. It was half full.
That
I knew
magic.
I knew what was
season.
coming after it.
Oh
I
my
knew what was
word.
coming after it. Okay, this is what's after it. We're living in the apocalypse right now for the Eagles.
The T.O. signing.
We're kind of living in a full-blown apocalypse.
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
even just for the
it's
Eagles,
full-
man.
This is 2020 in general.
Yeah, you guys, this got broken real quick. I blame the Cubs or the Cavs. And then all of a sudden,
timeline.
3-1 leads became lethal.
9
Everybody
years
could
ago
win
today-
overcome 3-1 leads. Everything got broken after that. It was
9 years ago today, there was the community episode of The Darkest Timeline. We've just been living in it since.
Facts.
It's just that's
Facts.
what happened. Or how many timelines have been messed up in the Flash, in Infinity, in Avengers? All these timelines.
Everybody just keeps on messing with the timeline. I need everybody to relax and just enjoy life. Okay, let's
Why
just all.
can't the timeline just relax, you know? When does the timeline get relaxed?
I did see something I think in March. Something happened on daylight saving time, so it turned the clocks back, or was it forward? It was back.
Save no time.
It was
forward.
spring forward. So it pushed it 2 forward. So when it comes back in November, it's gonna bring things back, and we're gonna have 2 months of normalcy.
So we're actually living in 2030. You're saying?
Well, probably.
Okay. Gonna
That's
This
why.
sucks.
That's why That's why number 47 moves so slow because the timeline
He's stuck in 2019.
He just pushed him over.
2019.
He's trying to get present with the times.
Oh, breaking news. Le'Veon Bell just released.
Bull crap.
Wow.
Oh.
That doesn't happen on this show. Relax. Hold on.
Oh.
No kidding.
Oh,
Look how
God,
quick
wow.
we are to the phones.
Jets tried
Wow.
to trade Le'Veon Bell for weeks, dating back to last year's trade deadline. There were no takers. Tonight they released him. He's now a free agent. Howie Roseman season.
Stop it.
ladies
Man.
and gentlemen.
He's carrying a $17 million dead cap hit for the Jets this season.
That is
$17
wild.
million dead cap. That's how
That's how
bad
much-
they were okay.
That's how much they didn't want him.
Oh
That's
my
how much
word.
Adam Gase didn't want him. Like, if Adam Gase doesn't want you, you're probably going to do well somewhere else.
Why would he like that was
Is Jim Shorts our Adam Gase?
Is he that bad? Yeah.
is Jim
I was
Schwartz
thinking about it.
Jim Schwartz. That's an ouch thought. I didn't like that. I want to live back in Baltimore. Come on, don't drag me into this Philly stuff.
We have gone all far.
There's
off
Don
this
Martindale with some
game.
blitz
We have gone all far
concepts.
off this game.
We got some Greg Roman with the run game that he doesn't always go for, but it's okay. The Ravens are winning.
what I'm more pissed
Don't
off
bring
about-
me into this.
This is your
stuff.
fault, Kyle. You've made this a very relaxed podcast. Okay,
I came in here. I was like, man, I see them drinking. I want to I really try to be like super professional. I've really I know it sounds wild after I just hopped in here and talked about ball shaving.
Yeah, professionalism left the podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, these guys look like they're having a fun time, and I was like, my back is so shredded right now that I'm like, I've really dropped all of my normal I can't even do the posture right now. It's so bad. But I was like, let loose, have some fun.
Once you get your physical therapy and done and everything, I highly recommend chiropractic. That has saved me. I go to the chiropractic. It got to the point after, of course, quarantine, all the gyms are closed and all that. And it was like, so my back just got terrible over the last few months. So I was in chiropractic like once or twice a week for the last month. It's my first week without going in a little while. But between chiropractic and acupuncture, that thing, it's like, it's great.
I was so hyped. I was getting back into lifting and everything on my last set of the day, and all of a sudden,
it always happens on the last set.
Something happened. I went, that doesn't feel normal. That doesn't feel normal. And I'm lifting with a fire medic. This man is a firefighter paramedic. He is built like a linebacker.
Just saying.
And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't think I am." And he's like, "Okay, sit down." I'm like, "If I was ever to injure myself in front of somebody, this is the person." And he's like, "Okay, sit down on the chair."
Do you think we could sign him to our to the Eagles?
Dude, he would.
He's built like a linebacker.
He could ball. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. He is built like a truck.
Contact info.
Can we get his contact info as soon as possible?
Yeah, let me grab my girlfriend's brother-in-law and see if we could. Shit! All right,
he could take number 47.
He'd take vet minimum. I guarantee. He just had twins, man. He'd take the vet min. They're buzzing. So let me toss you some phone numbers.
Yeah,
what? You got any football questions before I?
So let's focus on let's focus on the matchup because Kyle's taking us to a whole nother universe.
Yeah, my bad.
What are your key focal points for the Ravens in order for them to win besides attacking our linebacker core?
Right.
Okay. No. This is hard for you. All right, hard question. Name how the Ravens can win, but you cannot use number 47 as a reason why they can win.
All right. I won't even use the offense.
Oh, okay.
Wow, okay. No,
Ravens defense just set a new NFL record. 5 defensive backs got a sack last week. 5 different defensive backs. Defensive backs with a sack.
God.
Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Deshaun Elliott, Chuck Clark, Jimmy Smith. 5 different D-backs managed to get a sack last week against a weak Bengals offensive line and some unique blitz concepts and some strong play. Marlon Humphrey gets his sack, gets that forced fumble. You saw a bunch of players buzzing. Patrick Queen was buzzing, ended up getting a forced fumble and a recovery against his former teammate, Joe Burrow. Carson Wentz, I believe if he's not leading the league, he is close to it with 8 interceptions.
9.
Not
9. Yeah.
Reminder, the 2 cornerbacks for the Ravens were both 2019 first-team All-Pros, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. This team has don't throw to that guy. Well, you want me to throw to that guy? Well, don't throw to that guy either. Well, who am I supposed to throw to?
We have Travis Fulgham.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Kid you never heard about.
somehow he's popping off though. Whatever's going on, but this is a very strong secondary against a Carson Wentz with a weak offensive line. Lane Johnson is questionable, I believe, as of what's going on. He's injured. Either way, he's going to be playing against Calais Campbell, Matt Judon, Tyus Bowser, Derek Wolfe, and Brandon Williams. This is a very strong front, a lot of unique blitz concepts against a Carson Wentz that no longer looks like the MVP candidate of old. This is
how very he's missing
exactly
1, 2, 3 wide receivers.
And I agree with that.
Offensive line.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but I am saying he doesn't look the same.
Don't play my feelings, all right?
I'm not playing feelings. I'm playing on. Facts don't care about your feelings. I can't even get through it. I can't even do it. I can't. No, I can't even get through that. No way. I'm not doing that. But this Eagles team has been devastated with injuries. Carson Wentz isn't capable of the weapons. The Ravens defense is jokingly strong. The Ravens always, boast a strong defense, and this year is no different. This is going to be a scary defense.
I mean, you guys got Calais Campbell for nothing.
5th-round pick.
What
is going on? Could you imagine trading a 5th-round pick for Calais Campbell?
Welcome to 2020. That's what it's
all. The Jags really were like, we don't want.
The Eagles traded a 4th-round pick for Jannard Avery. How about that?
New defensive man. Who's this?
Who did? New team. Who this?
Well, the Eagles spent a 5th-round pick a few years ago on number 47. Converted safety from Nebraska. It's a linebacker.
No linebackers.
Safeties are supposed to have awareness.
Yo, that is very true. He was a safety in college. Like, how do you just suck? That's my main question. Like, how do you just suck? Like, that's really what I want to ask him. Like, how do you just suck in football? And you play this sport in college, and you got drafted. You're in the major leagues, and how are you just?
And he was a team captain. He was very good, and then
it's the visor. It's the visor. You can't see. That's what it is.
It's because they call him White Snake.
I don't.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. But
nobody should call another man.
Like, don't give yourself a nickname of White Snake.
I don't think that's a good nickname.
That's not a good nickname at all.
Like, that's a who's the Tiger King guy? That's like sounds like something like his.
That show.
Something.
I don't know. His name is Tiger King, right?
Tiger King. Joe Montana. No, not Joe Montana.
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. Yeah,
Joe Montana. Yeah, that guy was the Tiger King.
That's the original Joe Exotic.
That guy was the White Snake right there for the 49ers.
So Kyle, what's your prediction for the final results come Sunday, 4:00?
I think the Ravens win in a double-digit lead. They've done that to every opponent outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, which they lost. The Ravens have won by double digits. They've covered 14-point spreads. This defense, this offense, and the greatest kicker in NFL history are putting up points, and it's not close. 91% accuracy. Nobody else is in the 90% club. He's in 91%. Well, he might have dropped out of it with the 61-yard attempt before halftime last week. But
quarterbacks are in the 94% club when they target Nate Gary. Just saying. What you got to say about that, Kyle?
I need to find a new co-host.
all I'm saying is if the Ravens cross midfield, you already know Tucker is going to put 3 on the board. And the Ravens are aggressive, and they don't even want that. They want to put up 6. They want to put up 7. And overall, the Ravens going to win by double digits. The Eagles will still somehow be in the running for the NFC East title because y'all are going to win it at like 10-1, 5-10-1. You think you got it? I mean, you just have to battle Andy Dalton and the Cowboys at this point.
It'll be the Ginger Bowl.
Ginger Bowl for sure. Is that the last week? Is that the last game?
No, it's Washington's last.
Oh, that's tragic.
What do we call them? The football team now?
The Washington, whatever.
The football team.
The other
Maryland football team in the final week of
the other Maryland
football
team.
Yeah,
but it's like
It's just
I
terrible.
mean, if and I'm gonna say if the Eagles lose, the Cowboys have the Cardinals. That's not an easy game.
They're not winning
No.
that game.
The DeAndre Hopkins probably gonna put 300 yards on them.
And I have
Yeah.
no fantasy.
Yikes.
But then you got it's Giants versus Washington. So hopefully Giants win that game to put not give Washington 2 wins.
Wait, so if
But-
Washington wins that game, they're in first place.
If the Cowboys win, they have 3 wins.
Well, yeah, but most likely the Cowboys are not.
But if the
beating
Cowboys
Cardinals.
lose, and we're in week 6 here, so we're talking about 3 wins. Yeah, 3 wins will be in first place.
I
Yeah,
hate
so
it.
Cowboys 3 wins. But if Washington wins, there'll be 2 and 3. Cowboys will be 2 and 3 if they lose. I think Washington has that division win, right? No, Cowboys have the division win too. I don't know. Maybe
Washington has
The
two.
AFC North.
Oh, they'll have 2 division wins, right?
Yeah.
If Washington wins, so they'll be in first place. Yeah.
The AFC North right now. Steelers are in first place at 4-0.
Okay.
Second place is a tie with the Ravens and Browns at 4-1 because the Steelers didn't get to play that game against the Titans a couple weeks back. So they all would be dominating this division. Third place in this division would be dominating
Our division.
the NFCs. The Bengals are the team that tied you. They're in 4th place, and they'd still be at the same spot as the Eagles would be
I still can't believe we have a tie on our
in this
like,
division.
That blows my
Can't
mind.
believe it. Can't believe it.
Joe
Just
Burrow.
What's even worse is like this. It's more likely than not that the winner of this division will have a losing record.
Mhm.
Most losing records have a top 15 pick, or maybe like closer to top 10. The winner of this division will have a 20-something pick.
It's 22, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah,
26?
something like
It was
that.
21, 22. Eagles won the division last year and didn't win the playoff game, so I think they were at 22.
Yeah.
We're
I
at
think they were
21, 102.
That's
But
Don't
you
win.
win this
Don't
division,
win.
great. But then you have all
Mhm.
the
But you know what it is? Like, we can't even say for the Eagles to tank because if the Eagles tank, they're not going to draft what we need to draft in the first
they'll have the
round.
number 1 pick and draft a developmental offensive guard.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, put him at right guard. I think you guys got it. I think that's the makings
The hair,
of a successful recipe.
The hair itself will
He'll
make
just
for-
use it like Rapunzel and wrap people up. It's clever. I see no flaws in this plan.
So Kyle has the Ravens winning by double digits. How you feeling about this, Chris?
Our streak broke last week.
So we can actually be on this now.
We had a streak where the first 2 games we thought they were going to win. They lost. The third game we thought they were going to win, but we mentioned the strong possibility of a tie. We were like, watch them tie, and they tied. Against the 49ers, we said they would lose, and they won. Last week, we said they would lose, and obviously they still lost. We blamed that on Jim Schwartz and number 47, not on us. So you know what? Ravens are going to dominate this game. I'm going to try it again. Why not? I'm
I'm not going to try it again.
The other
Congratulations on
I-95
being
game,
right, man. Congratulations on being right.
The other,
next
what
week.
is it? I-95 game, or what does it take to Philly from? Yeah, 95, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be the oddball.
You're always the oddball.
Just hear me out.
I mean,
The
that's how you live
Eagles
your life.
scored 29 points against the 4th best defense in the NFL. It's not a fluke.
29 points.
Against the 4th best defense in the NFL.
Against T.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick.
And Bud Dupree.
29 points.
29 points.
Who's been closest to that for the Ravens? They allowed 3 to the Bengals, and that was with 20 seconds left. They kicked the field goal because they didn't want to get the shutout. They allowed 17 to the Washington football team. Chiefs was 34.
So you're
Texans
saying
was
there's a chance.
16. So 29.
No, I'm not saying that they're going to score 29 on Baltimore. You got to let me finish this. I got this. The Steelers allowed 29 points for the 3rd time in 20 years at Heinz Field. Baltimore's coming to the Link. The Link is going to have fans in it. Carson Wentz.
Here's the thing about the fans.
7,500 fans.
It's a lot of fans, okay? Yes, 7,500 fans.
5,500 after adjusting for staff and all that. So it's only about 5,500.
Yeah, it's only
But for the most part, 90% of those fans that are coming on they're all going to be Eagles fans. But like 90% of those fans are most likely going to be booing Jim Schwartz and number 47. Like
Yep.
and Carson Wentz.
it's
That
like,
was going to be my argument.
like it's
Okay.
not going to be like
I'm not saying it's going to help them.
even the
you guys are
TV
not letting me get to
broadcast.
my point.
Even the TV broadcast was booing the Eagles.
Listen, the
like,
point is
with
right
fake
here,
boos.
and I'm still here. Let me get there.
Whatever.
Anyways, it's going to be a fluke game. I personally think the Eagles can pull it off. Okay?
But
There's no but in it. I'm going to say 20-17 Philly.
Wow.
I'm gonna say 20-17 Philly.
You think
what?
you think that this defense, manned by the man in the middle, number 47, with cornerbacks who cannot tackle outside Darius Slay, with Mr. Double Move Jalen Mills, is going to hold Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, who we even talked about
Do you
today,
want me to answer that question honestly?
who are going to hold them to 17 points.
I will answer that question honestly. No,
You
I
don't
do
think
not think that.
The Ravens
going to be
defense
the
isn't going to
oddball.
score 17?
They might score 17. I before you came on, I predicted LJ Fort just for the sure explosion that Eagles Twitter will have. LJ Fort will have a pick six off Wentz and score, and it will just throw everything into oblivion. And I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I feel like somebody on this podcast has to be optimistic. And while deep down, I do not believe we stand a chance because Lamar Jackson is like I said in the beginning when Kyle came in, he's electric. Somebody's got to be optimistic. I'm gonna go throw it out there. I have nothing else to lose. I have no hair. Like I'm good with this.
All right, Manscaped. If he's wrong in this prediction, the beard's going.
Absolutely not. Don't you dare.
I see you got it all nice and fulled up, man.
Listen, I shaved it during
Shout out
quarantine.
Manscaped.
I shaved it during quarantine. It took 3 months to grow back, and I'm happy now. The guys at my job are like, "Yeah, let's shave our beards. Let's grow the mustache November." Like, no, not today.
I did that last year. I finished up a Halloween party, went home, and just shaved it all off. And I was like, I gotta see my girlfriend's family in a month. I don't think this stuff's coming back in a month. I'm never doing this again.
It gets worse as you grow older. Like, it takes longer.
My wife barely talks to me if I shave my beard off.
I will barely talk to you if you shave your beard off.
Like I gotta trim it. But like the one year I did Movember a few years ago, I think like 2014, 2015. It was just a stash, and my wife could not look at me because I just looked like that creepy rapist
15-year-old.
like that's on the side of that's on the corner, just looking at kids like this, and it's just like it was bad. And sometimes I just shave it off just to let it grow out a little more, and because I'm only 31, I'm getting grays like crazy, and it's like I just can't. I don't want to see that anymore.
I only have one gray hair in my beard, and I'm very proud of it.
I'm all right here.
Man, I'm getting gray, and I don't turn 27 until December. This is
Good
not
Lord,
cool,
you're
guys.
26 years old. You're not old enough for this podcast.
Baby, we have an age limit on here, man.
I told you, man. 4 years ago, Ravens let me in at 22.
No, you did not even say 4 years
ago. You
ago.
didn't say 4 years ago. You just said 22.
So the way you said that was like you're a 30-something-year-old. Like way back when I was 22 years
He's
old.
Out here grinding, baby.
He said back in the day. He said back in the day. Keyword.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, dude,
That's
man,
not back in the day.
2019 is back in the day at this point with how 2020's been. Don't lie to me.
I mean, apparently, according to Brian, and this week has been long. Yesterday was back in the day.
Bro,
it was 48 hours ago.
Yesterday was 48 hours ago. It's terrible, man. I hate it how 2020 is just not moving.
Oh, mercy.
But anyways,
I'm just looking forward to 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, and it just doesn't go to January.
It ain't gonna be Happy New Year, bro. It's gonna be like, damn.
Overtime.
It just continues to December.
It's gonna be the Bengals and Eagles in overtime.
Mortal Kombat theme kicks off in the background.
And we're just all like, it's just the purge, and we're just all running like.
What the hell are you planning over there?
No.
What happened, man?
You got your batteries, Eagles fan.
I got my toilet paper at the beginning of quarantine.
Still got the Costco wrap.
I have an honest question.
Loaded
Would you hire Nate Gary to protect your house in a purge?
That's like that's essentially saying I'm just walking outside and just like, hey, I'm here. Come get me.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I had fun with this.
Like
podcast.
by the time that someone like come gets me, like 5 minutes later he's gonna be like, where'd he go? like he was just inside, and
He was right there.
I swear to God, I took my eyes off for 2 seconds, and then I'm like I'm on the side of a ditch.
Right, well,
inside the house, inside of a ditch.
Yeah, probably.
Kyle, if you don't mind, let everybody know. Let Eagles Nation know where they can find you, where they can follow your work, and who do you represent and everything that sort, even though I did mention in the beginning, but
For sure. Yeah.
it's been a while since.
My personal Twitter is at @BB_Kyle P. Barber. You can definitely follow the website's Twitter account at @BeMoreBeatdown. When you're done enjoying this podcast, if you want to check out some Ravens content, we do have a couple of podcasts, the Baltimore Beatdown podcast on Apple and Spotify, where you find your podcast of this show right here. Other than that, go to BaltimoreBeatdown.com. We always have some great content wrote up and published and taken care of. And my staff works wonderfully hard on it, so definitely give it a look.
Awesome. Sounds good. And any final words, Chris? Because I feel like you got a lot in there.
I mean, we didn't talk about our watches. I don't have a watch
There
right
we
now,
go.
but we have a final sponsor, La Touraine, LATOURINE, French. It's fancy. La Touraine watches. They have partnered with Philly Sports Network. They've partnered with all of us. 10% off the watches. Go to la-touraine.com. Pick a watch. FTB 10% off. Bling out on your wrist, so you can watch the time and try and figure out when the hell is this game going to be over while you're watching the game on Sunday, so you can put yourself out of your misery once the Eagles get blown out.
You could time how fast Marquise Brown can get across the field with the ball in his hands. You can watch how fast Mark Andrews burns number 47 with La Touraine.
Thank you for not saying his name.
I got you.
Before we go.
Okay.
So I was looking at next gen stats before, and the most cushion given to a receiver this year is to Deshaun Jackson for whatever reason. I mean, he's still fast, I guess, but
he's still just dynamite.
The defensive backs are giving him 8.1 yards of cushion.
Yeah, but he hasn't played a damn like it feels like he hasn't played a damn game yet.
Marquise Brown is being given 7.1 yards of cushion.
Which is the Eagles' strong suit.
Expect that number to rise during the sticks defense and all that. Like he gets 7.1 yards of cushion, and he still averages 3.2 yards of separation after that. So he's just blowing by receivers. I mean, DBs, and might as well put receivers out there at DB. But it's like he's going to run past people, and it's going to be bad.
Can't wait.
Me too.
Can't wait for that 2017 Eagles win, guys. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in this week. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and it's Flipping the Birds.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.